Another welcome back to Technology Innovation Hub. So it's going to be the 30th session under Oracle Architecture Journey. Now in the previous session, we did hands-on on global checkpoint and log switch checkpoint. In this session, let's continue the categorization of checkpoints to get a theoretical understanding again, a little bit detailed. And after that, let's get back to hands-on again. Now, if you look at this document, we have mainly three categories of checkpoints: global checkpoint, log switch checkpoint, and partial checkpoint. And we have explained these categories earlier as well while we doing the hands-on. So let's take a look at it again. Now in global checkpoint, what it says, all dirty buffers from buffer cache will get flushed temporarily to the relevant data files. So this is what it says, all dirty buffers from the buffer cache will get flushed to the relevant data files. Now just to understand this one, if you just take a look at this one, this architecture, this is we haven't done in more detail about this. Oracle database has these logical and physical database structures. Now table space falls under logical database structure. Now if you take a look at this one, now this light blue one, which is the larger circle, represents the whole database, and you can see the database consists of control files, redo files, and again DBF files. So that's the physical structure. But when it comes to the logical structure, this DBF file belongs to a table space. You can see here the user's table space. We are having 3 DBF files. I have just given simple names: A.dbf, B.dbf, C.dbf. Now ultimately what's going to happen, these are the database objects. Database objects which belongs to a schema. The schema is collection of objects belongs to a user. Now when you create the user, schema gets automatically created, but from 12.2 on 12.1 onwards, actually 12.1 onwards, we need at least a minimum space consumption, because just because you create the table, it don't create the schema. We need to have at least one record, because it need to consume some space from the underlying data file. So then only the schema get creates. Now we are talking about table here because the statement says, if you take a look at it, all dirty buffers from buffer cache. Now buffer cache consists of records. No? So dirty buffers means modified records. So modified records or records, where are the records? Records on table. So then if you just related this to this picture back, this table, let's say there's a table called employee. This table should belongs to one of the table space within the database. Now let's say if the table belongs to users table space within this one, then it should consume space from either one of these DBF files. So that is what going to happen. So ultimately, this flushing, all dirty buffer, that means modified data will get temporary flush. So relevant data files means if the data taken from either A.dbf file, B.dbf file, so at the checkpoint what happens, it will temporary flush from the database buffer cache to one of these DBF files. That is what going to happen. I think we have learned the database buffer cache architecture. Still we haven't discussed in detail, but we know what is database buffer cache. We will be discussing database buffer cache right after finishing these checkpoint sessions. So this is just to get an idea. You can see these are the modified buffers. SCN numbers are there, and we can see if you look at a record, let's say record number, employee number 10, name is ABC, and salary 1000. That's the original record, and if it is modified, let's say this is 10,000. Now it is modified. Then due to update command, data get changed. As for this one, what it says, those modified, all dirty buffers will get cleared to the relevant data files temporary. That's what it says. So that is what we mean by global checkpoint. Now in global checkpoint, there is a number one condition, all dirty buffers. Action point, number one action which is happening in a global checkpoint, it clears all dirty buffers from the buffer cache. The number two is what? Is update the control files and data file headers. That's what. Update the control file and data file headers both. Those are key differences among the other categories of checkpoints in global checkpoint. What are the key differences? All dirty buffers, and it will update both the control file and the data file headers. So when it happens, that's the next thing. The number one thing, when it happens, the very first condition is old system checkpoint. Auto system checkpoint. Now we saw this command, we did the hands-on. When you type auto system checkpoint command, you watched it last time in the last video we demonstrated in the alert file. It mentioned global checkpoint, initiating global checkpoint and the redo block address, RBA address, start and likewise you saw that one. So that is what is this auto system checkpoint. It will do a global block switch. If you want, we can go back and check that one. I think we remember this. Now this is my alert file. Yeah, it is there. And if you just run this command, alt system checkpoint, you notice this is what happens. You can see it says beginning global checkpoint, relative block address and likewise. So we just explain this one, and it tells you the CN number as well. That is from that particular CN. It should clear the checkpoint queue or list of CNs. That one we explained in the previous session. So that is first condition, auto system checkpoints. Then what is the second condition? We have several. Shutdown command. When you type shutdown command, we know shutdown command goes into 4 options, or we can use the 4 different ways of shutting down Oracle database. Shutdown immediate, shutdown normal, shutdown transitional, shutdown abort. Out of these 4, when you do immediate shutdown or normal shutdown or transitional shutdown, what's going to happen? There will be a global checkpoint taking place. That means all the ready buffers from the buffer cache will get flushed to the relevant data files. This is just to give an idea about what's happening on the shutdown method. Shutdown normal, it will wait till all the sessions disconnected, irrespective of active or inactive, and there will be a checkpoint. Shutdown transition, it will wait till active sessions complete. Don't wait till idle sessions complete. There will be a checkpoint. Yes, global checkpoint. And shutdown immediate, it will not wait for any active or inactive. It will just cut off those sessions, roll back ongoing transitions, but again a checkpoint will take place. So that is what all of these 3 methods, shutdown normal, transitional, immediate, will do a checkpoint. We'll do a global checkpoint. There's another shutdown method called shutdown abort. Shutdown abort, even I have an indicator here. In shutdown abort, there won't be a checkpoint happening. So that's why after aborting a database, we need instance recovery, automatic instance recovery to take place to sync up the database. Otherwise, if the checkpoint doesn't happen, we know it is not a sync up database, not synchronized. Then the last condition mentioned here, auto database begin backup. Yeah, we know about this one as well. In RMAN, we have Oracle database backups mainly for a standalone database. We are talking about server managed backups and user managed backups. Server managed backup is using RMAN, automated backups. User managed backup is user enrolling and manually copying the files at OS level. Now, auto database begin backup involves in user managed backup. So before manually copying the OS level files, we can issue this command auto database begin backup, so that it will freeze the header part of the data file so that it won't be updated and backup can be completed. So that is a command auto database begin backup. With that, what's going to happen? A global checkpoint will take place. Great. So that is what when it's come to the first category of checkpoints, global checkpoint. Great, I think we will do slowly. I will explain the next category on the next session because we have to do some hands-on as well on this one. I will explain that one in the next session. Have a great time. Bye bye.